So first of all, to start, break the ice, could you please introduce yourselves and what you do?
Okay.
So we are Playmodes Studio. It's Santi Vilanova and me, Eloi Maduell. And we define ourselves as an audiovisual research studio. That means that we like to play with audiovisual stuff. We've been almost 15, 20 years playing with this. Playmodes is 10 years old maybe. And we've been ranging from projection mapping to lately more immersive spaces, light and sound, interaction, generative stuff, and that's it. We like the research or scientific approach to understand what's going on, why this is happening, what are the historical references of what we are doing, and how can we manipulate it, how can we link it with other things, and all this compendium of things. At the end is something similar to playing with a puzzle, which is the work that we are doing.
We've been experimenting with lots of technologies, like from video projectors to light to robotics to lots of stuff. But the only constant along the time has been this will for creating a unified language between sound and image.
I would like to know your views about the relationship between art and science and technology.
I would say, of course, that's a really personal and something that comes on the background of each one of us. So it's not something that has appeared, but both of us we love mathematics, physics, science in general, meaning the ability of humankind to develop new things or explain certain phenomena. As we want to create phenomena, we like to understand how humans usually understand and decrypt certain natural phenomena. And we always have the confusion related to this that I don't like the idea of saying what's the relation between art and science, meaning that they are really separate things. When it's like, yeah, of course, it's really different to be researching on COVID vaccines or creating audiovisual experiences. But it's something that we like to bring one to the other and the other to the one so that we can get scientific concepts and try to play with them and like manipulate them and trying to get, even it's like a game, it's like saying, okay, we can relate this with this concept and we get these other science-related things that comes from this field of perception, for example, and then we open a new field of science that will feed us with ideas and with things that we can join in our project development or whatever. And it's super creative at the end. So
I feel like this idea of these separated disciplines, art and science, I think it's kind of arbitrary somehow, or maybe because my vision comes more from like music, and music and mathematics are super related. I think at the end, and maybe our perception of these disciplines being just one or being the same thing, I think it's related to code, like code in some way acts, because it acts somehow as a glue, So through code you can bring physics or mathematics into something else, You can use equations for bouncing balls or for gravitational thing, and transform it into moving image or transform it into moving sound. So and is it through code that we've been able to transduce or to transform something which is theoretical and mathematical into something that is artistic or that is dynamic or that is creative?
It's a moment also of
for opportunity,
for new opportunities. So as we know that what we were used to do, it's not possible anymore. It's a moment that you turn your head around and look for other things to survive with, and then opportunities might appear on this situation, which is interesting, and it's somehow it gives you a kind of an energy to say that it has to be something that I can not change my way of doing to focus into another direction, which at the end might be better than the past one. And that's also something interesting about uncertainty.
We have the feeling that of course there's a community, of course there's lots of talent on the people that is operating on this region, but because we don't have the support of that kind of specialized institutions, at the end, many of the people from our generation that is working on the digital art field are a hybrid between designers and artists, meaning that we are exposed to commissions. So if we want to make a living out of creativity, we need to be at the service of some private initiative, be it advertisement, be it, I don't know, like specific cultural commissions, but it is very difficult to make a living out of your own language or your own paranoia, because there's not this sedimented or institutional support.
And I would say that maybe that's the reason why we grow up all that stuff, making network of ourselves, because we created Telenoica because we want to share knowledge. There was no school, so when I started computer science, I went to make graphics, and it was like graphics for making submarines, but not for creating art. And then that was the will of creating Telenoica, to say, okay, I like this, and I want to learn, and being able to find people that likes these things. So we generate ourselves the scene from the ground up, from scratch, because that was our interest, and as there were no references around, like saying, of course there were some universities like in Roc Parés, Narcís Parés, Institut de l'Audiovisual, but there were like tiny institutional things. We created that thing, and that pushed us to working in a community-based, let's say, organization level, the transference of technology, of knowledge, open source, open hardware. So all that thing came naturally because we want to make this grow, and we were like many years doing stuff, and we find many people that want to share this community and make things happen. So it's kind of a relation between not having a status, or like our country doesn't have it's not supporting this thing, so we created our own support.
Yeah, alternative organization.
With the free parties
systems
in between.
One of
Enjoying.
the assignments that we have for this interview is to reflect on the concept of ecology.
Regarding this question, but one of the things that is on the shelf right now that we want to explore, we've been trying to understand if it would be something nice to work with. It's working with the light of the sun. And I think that then the relation is that avoiding using many technology or artificial light, and trying to work with natural light as a medium. So it's nice because it could be sold as ecological, but at the end we will be using 3D printers with plastic, circuit boards, and a lot of stuff that it could be compatible, but if you think in ecology radically, it's like we should go to land art.
Well, there's a huge contradiction in the medium that we need to address. No? At the end, we're working with technology. We're Googling every day hundreds of times. The servers on the North Pole are heating.
We're using devices that work with the batteries of lithium.
So there's
coltan and everything, and that's our matter that we work with. So trying to understand that you can work with technology and be ecological is kind of super contradictory.
I think one of the good things that the COVID pandemic brought us is that we started working telematically. We have needed to explore how to, through the internet, direct a team of local technicians to set up our work, and us being there just telematically on the screen of a computer. And it looks like that is going to work, and that is showing us that maybe it wasn't needed for us to go to all that places with the plane and making that ecological waste, because with the medium that we have today, no, with the internet, we can be there without our body to be present on that space.